mean, I'm really excited for the guys. To be able to come in and play every single guy that we have on the roster and have a team game. We had 24 assists on 46 made baskets. Uh, and really from the opening tip to the buzzer, really establish our style of play. That was something that we really wanted to take over from our CBS game. We felt like at times we were sloppy there and kind of lacked the focus and attention to detail uh, as the game kind of went on. And another thing too is that we felt like in our last game that we kind of let them get comfortable. I thought that was a really big emphasis from our staff, especially Coach Wade. Not letting an opponent come into our building, let them get comfortable, make some easy shots early, and then obviously as the game goes on, if you let a team get comfortable, it really becomes more of a game than it should be. But excited for the win, excited for our guys. They did an unbelievable job executing our game plan and really pushing the tempo. Yeah, we just emphasize with our guys, especially after the last game, just share the ball. Just share the ball. We know this is a growth process for us. Every single game has meaning. Uh, we talk about expectations versus standards for us. We have standards. The expectations have risen in the program. Coach Wade has absolutely risen the program's expectations, but that's all external. He actually had a great message for our guys, talking about, it doesn't matter who the other team is, what they have on their jersey, because we play for McNeese State and we have McNeese State standards. And that was a big point of emphasis from Coach Wade yesterday during our prep, obviously from our staff, Coach Hamilton and I, just playing to our standards, making sure we have McNeese State style of basketball, share the ball, take the best shot that we get. And I thought we did a great job of executing that. Again, 24 assists on 48 or 46 made baskets. You're assisting on more than half your made baskets. That's going to get it done more times than not. Obviously, it was a non-division one opponent, right? And we play back to back. We're going to play 3 games in 4 or 5 days, something like that. But the big thing for us, the reason why Coach Wade wanted to schedule these games back to back is because next week we go on the road and play in an MTE in a back to back, and so we wanted our guys to have that chance to experience, uh, what it is to turn over a game. As soon as they were done, we were already talking about our next opponent, and that's how it's going to be when we go to Ruston and play in our MTE. With Texas State, Louisiana Tech, that's going to be a quick turnaround. And then not just that, obviously when you get to conference tournament time and then postseason basketball, Coach Wade was really adamant to make sure that this was not, when we get to those times, it's not the first time that they've seen that sort of turnaround, because it is. We have to flip the page really quick. We won't do any cleanup, and we'll get right into Laterno. I think the biggest thing is just minutes. Guys that played a lot of minutes. We were fortunate. I called a quick timeout in the second half, try to get those guys out quick. Uh, you know, but I think really just minutes. We didn't get any injuries today, which is we're fortunate not to have any nagging injuries or have anyone get banged up today. But that's really the biggest thing is just making sure those guys get off their leg. You just played a basketball game, making sure you get to sleep, hydrate, and then get after it tomorrow with our shoot around and walk through prep and in the game. And then we got guys like Tijon Brown, Naz Mann, Roberts Berze getting valuable minutes that will pay huge dividends down the stretch. Against VCU, we really played a seven man rotation. Wasn't by design; it just kind of was the flow of the game. The guys that we had in at the time, really, I mean, shooting the first half, we were up 20 against VCU, and that wasn't planned or practice, but we had absolutely planned on playing more guys against VCU. Just the formula was working, and we didn't want to push it, and so to get these guys in, get valuable minutes, especially at home in front of the home crowd, I think it's going to serve as huge dividends down the stretch, especially as we get into December and January. When you start hitting the dog days of January, February, you're going to rely on those guys. It's special for the staff. Coach Wade had mentioned something to the guys yesterday about going 4-0 and how special that would be. I think it would be the first time in 40 years that had been done, or 50 years, something like that. And so he asked the guys, how many times in your life have you done something that's the first time that's happened in 40 or 50 years? Like maybe one of you may have done that or something of that nature. So to have an opportunity to do that, it doesn't matter who the opponent, where it's at, it's special, you know. And obviously, we talk about it all the time. You know, we're going to knock down a ton of milestones, you know, year by year, build this program, um, you know, and that's something that I think the guys are really looking forward to. 3-0 is great, but we treat every game like 1-0. You know, so tomorrow we have a chance to go 1-0. It becomes something that's pretty special to McNeese and our program. But you know, I always joke you can't win them all unless you win the first three. I know at the end of the first half, I know we were getting stops, and you know, I kept telling our guys, like, guys, I feel like we're doing a tremendous job on the defensive end. You know, I'm looking at the numbers. I thought there was a couple sequences where we were kind of sloppy with the ball. We get a stop and we get it out, and maybe the outlet was bad, or you know, we turned it over a couple times quick in a row. But then once we settled in, and you know, like kind of the wash of the game come about, I thought our guys played free. You know, the defensive end is kind of where we make our living off of. You know, it really gets us going. When we get stops, we're really hard to stop in transition. And you know, credit to the guys. You know, their leading scorer takes 20 shots a game. Big part of the game plan. Coach Wade challenged him. You know, like, hey, our ability to stop the opponent's best guard hasn't been where we need it to be. You know, you look at Sholga, even in our scrimmages that we've had, you know, against Prairie View or Monroe. You know, like the opponent's best player, quote unquote, has gotten their numbers. You know, even CBS for that matter. So we really challenge the guys, and to hold a guy that shoots 20 shots a game, you know, averages 20 points a game to 1 of 7. You know, that's, you know, you know, it's a credit to our guys. I think they took pride in it. I think they met the challenge, and I think that was also a big part of the reason why we were able to go on that stretch.